everybody. We are back for episode 5 of our Sister to Sister Connection Talk Show. My name is Letitia Campbell. My lovely co-host, Tawanta Davis Jones. Tawanta Davis Jones is our content creator for the show. I'm the marketer, techie girl for the show, and we are so happy to be on for this episode. We are in the month of February, and as always, I know some of you guys are thinking, "Oh, when am I going to buy my partner for Valentine's Day? Where are we going to go? What are we going to do?" And we get so wrapped up and focused on everybody else, right? But we're gonna do something different this month, right? Tawanta suggested that we really talk about a little bit something different this month, but still based around love, right? So without further ado, Tawanta, if you can explain tonight's topic and we could jump on in.
Yes. Hey, everybody. How are you doing? I hope everyone is doing amazing and feeling mighty, mighty good in spite of what's going on, that you are still enjoying life, enjoying more abundantly. So, yes, we are going to be talking about love, but not the type of love that we normally talk about, okay? We are going to be talking about loving you, okay? Loving you. Okay, and so we're going to be talking for this week discussion for tonight. We're going to about the title is For the Love of You. For the love of you, right? And we're going to dig deep about that. And I know we have been in conversations before about, girl, you need some girl time. You need some me time and all of that. And that is so true.
Yeah.
But we need to get much deeper than that.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? There are still some areas inside of us, honey, we need to deal with because it has been causing some issues. It has been slowing us down a little bit. It's been weighing us down. And so we are going to take this opportunity to truly, truly define the word love. And once we define that word love, then we can start talking about you, how that love can apply to you.
Yeah. I realize that, especially I'm just talking about for my own personal experience, is that when we do start tapping into loving ourselves and doing more for ourselves and giving ourselves more time, energy, and effort and creating boundaries and enforcing those boundaries and not holding back and standing firm, it's also a negative side to that we sometimes will get pushed back onto us, like, oh, you're being arrogant, you're selfish, you're all about you. And it's kind of hard, for us to focus on us and love ourselves in many cases. Like, you may be watching this and thinking that, oh, I have a heightened amount of love for ourselves, for myself, but then you could be doing something that you enjoy doing, and maybe your husband or your partner or your mom or your dad or somebody comes in the room and you're shifting gears so that you do not because you're afraid to really be yourself around them. And I feel like in this era that we're in, I see a lot of women dumbing what they do down to make other people feel comfortable. And I'm guilty of that too in the past. Like, I would just, everything that I would do, even though it was great, even though it was amazing, I would like dumb it down so that way other people in my family, other people in my life would not feel as if I'm over dramatizing what I'm doing and not being humble and all these other things. So it's like, I always have to some days battle. And I know some of y'all who are watching this, you go through this too, is where you battle, like, when it comes to, should I brag or shouldn't I brag? Oh my God, all these amazing things are happening to me. Should I get on and talk about it not just once, but twice every day, 2 times a day, post about it, should I do that? If I do that, will people think that I'm being some type of way, or I'm just being too braggy and not being humble and all these things. So this is a great topic to talk about that, because in this month we are pushing ourselves to the back burner and now thinking about how can we buy something or spend more money on other people, rather than looking at ourselves and saying, you know what, I deserve to buy myself a car, or I deserve to spend $200 at a spa, or go onto Amazon and spend $1,000 on myself. I deserve a brand new computer. I deserve, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we always put other people before us, and another thing is that I realized that we value other people's opinion so heavily, instead of scaling back and saying, well, girl, what do you want to do? I find that I had an amazing call with one of my clients earlier today. And it's like, we, listening to all these other people giving you all this information, giving you all this feedback can actually hurt you at the same time when you're getting different advice, information, feedback from different air vehicles when God has already told you what He needed you to do and what He needed you to focus on. He already told you that you need to have the love for you, So like I always say, Tawante, every time you come, Tawante always comes up with these topics, and every time you come up with these topics, they're always timely. They're always at the right time
Hmm.
in all of our lives. So yeah.
Yeah, I think this is more like a wake up call, or more, I would say, like an alert call for us,
Hmm.
because, we can easily fall back into things that is so comfortable for us, but even in that comfortable position, it can still be damaging.
Yes,
And
yes,
so we definitely need to start looking at a different route versus going the same route and expecting different results.
that's right.
And I think that having these discussions can really be a blessing and an eye opener for a lot of us sisters out there, to
Absolutely.
really redefine what love is, what true love is.
Hmm.
Not be so passive with that love
Hmm.
towards yourself, because you should know the worth of who you are,
That's right.
because
That's
you
right.
wouldn't want nobody else to mistreat you any kind of way. But
Hmm.
if you doing it to yourself, you can't get mad at that person mistreating you, or just not appreciating your worth. You have to start doing that right at home. You see
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Right at
Hmm.
home. So yeah, this is going to be a great discussion.
I could totally relate to that. I know you and I both can totally relate to that, Tawanta, because
Yeah.
just so you guys know, Tawanta and I are friends beyond this show. So we talk, so many different times, even when we're in the valley of our lives of
Mhm.
going through what we're going through. It's sort of like, you come to a place as a woman where it's like enough is enough already. Like, I came to a place in my life, and I know you have too, to where you just get tired of talking about and arguing and fighting over the same stuff over and over and over again. It
Absolutely.
does get exhausting, and I can't tell like what age point does that happen. I just feel like we all have a boiling point, and I think like I always say, if I had established boundaries with certain people early on, certain things wouldn't have transpired the way it has. But I also say, God doesn't make no mistakes. So, but the thing is, getting back to that love of you, and just to share a brief story, when I first started in therapy, which is like maybe back in, I don't know, 2006, I think it was.
Okay.
And the therapist, I share this story all the time. The therapist asked me, "Well, what do you like to do?" And I just had a panic attack because I was like, I had
Wow.
no, that was the most simple question anybody can ask you. What do you like? What do you love? And in that moment, I didn't know what I love. I didn't know what I liked. My life was based around my husband, my children, my job at the time. That I
Mm,
didn't really have alone time with me. Me just even
yeah.
being at a dinner table by myself at that time was like no way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and another thing was also about me in the past, and I shared this before, was that I couldn't make decisions for myself. I could
Hmm.
not. It was all the way boiled down to, even when I would buy clothes, I had to ask somebody, well, how did this look? Or does this look good? Or whatever. And, I literally did not know who Letitia was. Like, I lived my life basically being, molded around what other people expected and thought of me.
Yeah.
And that feels like you're in your own mental prison right now. So it
Hmm.
took me a long time to fight, and still fighting to be who I am today and to do the things I want to do today with a sense of certainty and not caring if other people get upset. Now, I
Right.
do feel bad still when I make certain moves in my life or my business, and people be like, "Oh my God, why did you do that?" I still feel some kind of way about that. But then, in all naturality, I said this before. I was like, you know what? I always ask myself, Letitia, what is going to make you happy in this moment? What is
Mm,
going to make you happy during this time? And that's
right.
what I focus on, because there are people that will be in your life that there's people I realize that love to control other people.
Hmm. Hmm.
I came up with that conclusion. There's people in your life that does like to give their uh, um, perspective on what you should and shouldn't be doing. So I have three daughters, and my oldest daughter, she's starting to do that. She's starting to, every time her brothers and sisters are doing something, she wants them to do what she wants them to do, and I have to correct them. Like, no, no, no. They want to play this over here. You can play with whatever it is that you're playing, but don't bother them,
Right.
because she's starting to that certain habits, bad habits. It does go down from generation to generation. So I'm trying to help her get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're just saying, loving you is so important. Establishing boundaries is so important. Knowing your worth is so important.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna help you guys out with that tonight. But it's definitely much so important, right, Tawanta?
Absolutely. And when you was saying earlier about, pretty much trying to figure out who you are, at
Yeah.
that time, that's pretty much where the majority of women today are experiencing. It's an identity crisis.
Hmm.
The question that, we often say to ourselves, do you know who you are?
Hmm.
And honestly, if someone ask you that, I don't think a lot of women can actually really give a definitive answer to that. They really
Hmm.
would not be able to give you a concrete answer to that
Hmm.
question. It's a simple question, but it
Hmm.
is so difficult to answer because at that season of your life, that's when we really are like, I don't know. I don't know who I am. I don't know what's happening. I mean, there's so much chaos. I don't know where I'm going. My emotions is all sporadic. It's all over the place and everything. And a lot of times, we take that and we allow it to beat us down.
Beat us down, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It beat us
Yeah.
down, and we don't have the thrive anymore, or the desire, or the passion to move forward in our careers and our dreams
Hmm.
and our goals and in our personal life. Our family
That's right.
starts to feel that distance from you. They start to notice some things about you and everything, and then you think
Hmm.
it's them, but at the same but it's you, because
Yeah.
and here's the thing too. We start to beat ourselves down based on the choices we made,
Yes,
based
that's very
on the
true.
things we have done, and as a result of our decisions, now we are reaping the benefits of it, and the benefits are not good benefits.
Hmm.
We are actually just getting spanked, if that makes
Hmm.
sense,
Hmm.
in our bad choices, and we feel guilty, because we're
Yeah.
we're grown, we're grown women, we're supposed to be successful, this, that, or whatever, but here
Yeah.
we are, made some dumb choices, we've made some bad decisions, this, that, or whatever, and we start to blame ourselves, and then we
Yes.
start to beat ourselves up because of the bad choices and all of these things. But ladies, we have to be the one to end that.
That's right.
Because we've done this before. I can speak for myself, but I don't know if you have. But I know for me, I would be like, well, what about me? I mean, I deserve better than this. I deserve more than this, and this, that, or whatever. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you can go ahead and fuss and cuss at that person all you want to, but I demand more. I deserve more. But how you going to do it? It
Yeah.
starts with you.
Yes, it does.
It
Yes, it does.
starts with you.
Yes, it
I'm
does.
serious, and I'm a living witness to that, man. It really does start with you, and how you can make that first move is to really just talk to God about it. That's the first and
Hmm.
foremost. And I know not everybody's all deep in their faith or what have you, honey. Let me tell you, at the end of the day, when all else fails, you're gonna have to talk to Jesus sooner or later, because
Exactly.
there
You're
is
gonna have
this.
to. You can't
Yeah,
do it by yourself.
you
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 know,
you can't.
yeah, the best place to get started
You
for me
can't.
was to tap into what God says about me. How does God see
Absolutely.
me? It's in your word, it's in your Bible.
Right.
What does God say about me? Who does God say that I am? Right?
Right.
Tap into that. Read that over and over and over and over again. Right?
Exactly.
And so yesterday I did like a webinar, and then after the webinar I went in my client group and I talked about it, and because people always ask me like, where do you get this like confidence, and I said I have an alter ego in my head, not like a second personality or anything like that, but I do have this alter ego of a woman in my head who is confident, who walks in the room, and it's just I envision myself as when Cleopatra was in the movie. and she came down off that pyramid in that gold dress, and she just
Mm,
owned everything, and everybody saw her.
yes.
She was like this landmark, like the Statue of Liberty. One of my clients was talking about that. Be a landmark. The Statue of Liberty is a landmark. And people would be traveling across the seas, and the minute they saw the Statue of Liberty, they knew that, oh, that represented freedom for them. So you know that alter ego helps me to say, okay, when people look at me, when they hear me, when they listen to me, like I want to, like, literally you know you know channel in that feeling of confidence, respect,
Yeah.
authority, uh educated, all those things, of that into that alter ego. And that's how I show up just like that. I call her Tropicana, it's Tropicana man. So that's what I do. It's like literally stepping into the woman that I want to become. And the woman I want to become has already made it. Like
Yeah.
she doesn't write out this big goal because she's already living the life that she wants to live. She's already making the money that she wants to make. She already has an ideal family that she wants to have with herself, and I tap into that all the time. All the time. I be in the mirror like, yeah, you that bitch. I be living for it, honey. And my kids are used to it now. Like before, they used to look at me like, "Mommy, what is wrong with you?" They used to be like, when I show, I'm like, once I get this war paint on, honey, I'm like, yes,
Yes,
I'm here
honey.
for it. Yeah. So that's what
Yes.
I do all the time. Because
Right.
I could be damn near crying, honey, before that, ready to go through it. But once I
You
show
know,
up as,
your
yeah, go ahead.
personality, with your personality though, you are that fireball where it is like, yeah, you may be down and you may have one of those moments, but you get right back up
I get right back up.
and you just go full
Mhm.
throttle,
Because we
That's
have too
just
much to lose, and that's what we have to
right.
think. You have too much to lose to stay there.
Yeah, right. And like for me, I'm more of an introvert. So, I'm more contained. I'm more like in my own zone,
Yeah.
and for
But I'm an
some
introvert too, Tawanta. I am. And what's awesome about us introverts is that we don't need anything outside to motivate us. Everything
right.
comes from within. So we motivate ourselves with every movement and everything that we do. We
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
need those outside motivations like extroverts do. So I used to hate calling myself an introvert. So one of my clients, Dr. Ray, said, "Girl, you're introvert. We're all introverts.
Mhm.
But because we don't need that like I wake up in the morning, I'm on go. Same thing like when you come up with these ideas of this show. It's like, bam, you're on go. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I know, like for me, I had to really fight to not get, comfortable in an uncomfortable position.
Yes.
I had
Yes.
to really, I could not depend on anybody else in this household to lift me up. You know what I mean? Even though I was blessed and fortunate to have my daughters to encourage me or whatever when I had one of those dry spells seasons. But at the end of the day, I had to realize that I had to look at myself. And if
That's
I
right.
really want anything to change for the better, I had to make that
Make
decision.
it change on
I
your
had
own.
to make the
Absolutely.
change. That's when I had to, that's how I started to love me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I got love in my house, but that, they're gonna be gone one day. And I don't mean
Yeah.
like gone in terms of death wise. I mean,
Yeah.
my oldest daughter, she's gonna be leaving who knows when to start
Yeah.
her career. And my youngest daughter, she's gonna be graduating in a couple of years.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Before you know
you
it.
yeah, exactly. So I cannot, continue on feeding off of their love. Cause when they're gone, I'm gonna be like dried out. I'm gonna be dry because I won't have that love. So I have to learn how to love me. So when they are gone or they moved on, I will be okay. I will,
You'll be fine.
I will already surpass that anyway because I have made a decision to start creating better habits for
Mm-hmm.
myself because
Mm-hmm.
I'm realizing what God is revealing to me, that I am loved
Yes, you
and I
are.
am beautiful, and not just beautiful from the physical standpoint. I'm beautiful from within because there are beautiful gifts and skills and talents
Amen.
that's within me that needs to
Mm-hmm.
be executed out to the world.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. It's I had to get out of it. And I wrote this down on being emotionally dependent and reliant on other people. You
Yeah.
know, even when I had my job, I was emotionally dependent on the job because it provided me a sense of socialization with my coworkers and things like that. And once I left that job, I sort of
Mhm.
built that wall against me and my past coworkers. But
Gotcha.
I had to do it to just get out of that feeling of, well, hell, I stopped talking to them at some point because I was like, you know what, I don't want to keep continue on with that relationship. And then if I have a moment in my business where I want to give up, I could just go back in
Mhm.
and get
Mhm.
back behind that desk. So there's certain things that I do where I do create that separate preparation because I can in some aspect in my weakest moment become emotionally dependent on other people. And it's the
Right.
same thing. Those of you who are watching, you can become emotionally dependent on your husband, which I think is not right. I've been in that place in my life, and it was literally like an up and down roller coaster every day because one thing you can't manage is other people's emotions. But when you become emotionally dependent on other people,
Mhm.
you know
Mhm.
their emotions are so fickly. You're
Right.
just feeling like like I said earlier, you're feeling like you're revisiting the same issues over and
And
over and
over
over
and
and
over.
over and over.
Right, right. And
Yeah,
it's so taxing to the body.
absolutely.
It's so taxing to your mind. You
Hmm.
can't accomplish anything when you are so overwhelmed and you see the same stuff over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
Even though you may try to move to the other side of your house, you still the problem is still saturated in the
Hmm.
atmosphere.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And at some point you're going to have to clean house.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying? You're going to
Hmm.
have to be the one to put your big girl panties on and say, you know what, it's time to get this devil loose out of here. It's
Yeah,
time
yeah.
to go hell and high water crazy up in here, because I am not going to allow this negative energy to kill me faster.
Hmm. Hmm. And
There's
destroy
more.
you.
Exactly. There's
Hmm.
more of me that needs to be distributed out to this world, because
Hmm.
I'm here for a purpose.
That's right.
I'm here for a purpose. Like you ladies that are listening and watching us right now, you're here for a
For a
purpose.
purpose. And you ladies that are watching us right now, especially if you're, in your 40s or maybe a little bit over your 40s, or even if you're in your 50s, you got to imagine, like, do you still want to be going through what you're going through now for another 30, 40 years? And the answer is always no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always no. And it's like, okay, what are you going to do different? Because I
Mm-hmm.
always like, and I said this on our last show, I was always the person that was looking for other people to change. The people that I was
Yeah.
emotionally dependent on. And really, I had to change myself. I had to change myself. I had to say, well, if this person does this again, because they will,
Mm-hmm.
what are you going to do, Letitia? What
Come
reaction are
on.
you going to have? Are you going to continue to point fingers when really, in reality, you got to say, well, if he or she does this again,
Yeah.
or he or she texts me this same issue again,
Right.
then I
Right.
want to do this. You know, Another thing I want to talk about is people know your triggers better than you
Ooh,
do.
yeah, girl.
They know your triggers way better.
Come
I
on.
mean, literally, people in my life knew my triggers so well that they could say a one word and I pop off. And then after the dust settles, I'm sitting down and I'm just like, oh my God, I did all of that. And people know your triggers. They know what to say to get you to, like, literally
Mm-hmm. Go
go
off. Yeah.
ballistic.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're apologizing for your behavior, and the whole purpose of you being mad has totally been thrown to the trash, even if you are right.
Yeah. Ooh, girl,
So
you
it's like that
listen.
love of you to love yourself so much that you're not willing to let people who are trigger pushers to set you off into a place where of the all the beyonds, because
Right.
some people love it when you're up there at that moment of
Yes.
insanity and craziness,
Mm-hmm.
and just to be like, listen, boy, girl, you're not gonna let me go there. I know already what you're doing. That may have worked back in 2012, but it's 2021 now, and there's too much stuff I have to accomplish this year, and I'm not gonna let you go,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna let my children see me go there, because our children are not just watching us; they're studying us.
Absolutely.
They're looking at us and saying, okay, when somebody does that to me, I'm going to act just like that. You are literally creating a blueprint for your children. I realize that. I'm
Yes.
not just even, and we got to also, I'm not just even talking about us as moms. I'm talking about if you have a sister that is pops off, because that's where I got my pop offness from, is my one of my aunts.
Wow.
So a lot of times if you have sisters or siblings and they're your children's niece, uncles, and aunts. You gotta say, listen, I know you used to doing that at your house, but when you over here, don't do that in front of me and mine, please, because they're studying you, and they may end up just mimicking what you do when a bad problem comes up, and not what I do, what I'm teaching them.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you have to do that. You got to monitor the environment of everyone, because all that can pick up. Because I got that part of me from her. That's why I always say, watch what you say to me, because you don't know which aunt is going to come out. It may be my
Exactly.
bougie aunt Robin, or maybe Aunt Jackie,
Right.
of Newark, New Jersey. You don't give a damn.
That's right.
Cuss you out and they make you some dinner later on.
Hmm.
And I see them do it very well, very articulately,
Right.
in an
I mean,
artistic
because
way.
I've been through that situation so many times. Because I'm
Yes.
a child. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
any siblings. I have half sisters that I have not met yet.
Oh
But
wow.
you know, for me, I had to really be that guard and that
Mm-hmm.
defense of
Absolutely.
protecting my daughters from not repeating or duplicating or mimicking my behavior, or my behavior, not so much uh, bad behavior in terms of me yelling or screaming or anything like that. No, but
Mm-hmm.
just being depressed and being,
Yeah.
sad and
Yeah.
broken. I had to try to like put that aside so they
Yeah.
could see the pain that I was living in.
Yeah.
And it was a challenge.
It was. It
It was a
was.
challenge. And I mean, I thank God that they are mature young ladies
Yes, they
where they
are.
know the
Absolutely.
difference. But yet, even with that being said, they still feel, they still experience what they have witnessed
Absolutely.
from the time
Absolutely.
they were young babies up
Yeah.
until this point. And it's still a battle. It's still a
Yeah.
challenge, especially with my oldest one, because she's the one that has been receiving the brunt of it more than my youngest one.
Yeah.
And so, you know, uh, I've pretty much have to teach her and talk to her and explain to her certain things about the behavior of what's going on in the home and how to handle certain behaviors from that other person, and not to allow that person's mannerism or their negative energy to get the best of her.
I have to do that too,
You know,
almost now on the daily, where it's like,
yeah,
it's hard when it's in the home and they're seeing it all the time.
yeah,
It is hard,
yeah.
and what my son does, he'd be like, "Mommy, can we just have a private conversation later?" And
Mm,
so to get him to reprocess and regurgitate sort of what transpired this morning or the night before allows
yeah,
me to now do the damage control of saying, "Yeah, well, I know this person said that, but listen, this is how you need to take it. Sometimes don't even bother explaining yourself, just walk away. Don't
absolutely.
even go into, don't do all that, just walk away." Because then
Yeah.
I don't want my son, who is a black man, to be a combative black man, because there's certain environments that can end up having a bad result from it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's, and I mean, just you saying that right there, I could totally understand what you're talking about with that. But
Right.
it's
Yeah.
that, having more, even jumping into our kids, I feel like having these conversations of getting them to love themselves, that is also important, because our kids are young. They're young, they're free, they ain't got no
Right.
bills, their credit is score is good.
Hmm.
They're fine, but then we know that eventually in life they will come across obstacles and challenges. So let's talk
Absolutely.
about that, getting our kids to love ourselves. What is your advice on that, Tawanta?
Well, as far as what our kids loving themselves is to continue to pour into them.
Mm-hmm.
Continue to, remind them of their greatness inside of them, and to not allow anybody to try to murder their dreams, to
Mm-hmm.
murder who they see themselves,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. For example, my oldest daughter, she's taking virtual classes, of course, and Letitia knows she's becoming an actress. This is her dream of
Yes.
becoming an actor and everything. So she's going to this school in California. It's called AMDA. That's the acronym for the American Musical Dramatic of the Arts University. So there's a teacher now that she is taking. This teacher is, she's old school. You got
Hmm.
those teachers that are just like totally back in the 80s.
Yeah,
you
way
know
back.
and Stephanie is a gifted young lady, very
Yeah.
multi-talented, and she is just a bomb.com excellent writer. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just fluid. It just comes out of her. She can just write. Dang, girl, I wish I had that power. But she gets that from her dad's side. Honestly, her dad is also a great writer too. But the
Yes.
teacher and her been butting heads back and forth because the teacher had an assignment for the whole entire class where they had to come up with this project, and that
Hmm.
the teacher was very specific on certain things that that everybody needed to put forth, so it could be like an argument, have
Mm.
a discussion basically. And now
Mm.
my baby girl, she knows exactly what that is all about because she's done there, been there, done that.
Yes,
But
yes.
this teacher had said something to her that kind of made her second guess her purpose,
Ooh.
second guess herself.
Yeah.
And the teacher said something to the effect that you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't know what you're doing, or something to that effect. And I know my daughter because she gets it from me.
Mm-hmm.
She was trying to keep her mouth like,
Mm-hmm.
but she had
Mm-hmm.
to respect the teacher.
Yes, yes.
But when she came down and she told me the story and everything, and I completely understood where she was coming from because I had that type of teacher before. But
Yes.
when I told her, I said, "Sweetheart, do not continue to allow people to snatch or murder or tear
Tear
apart,
down. Yeah.
tear down what God has given you.
That's right.
You
That's right.
already know how well of a writer you are. Ever
Mm-hmm.
since you were in grade school, ever since you
Mm-hmm.
were in middle school, your teachers told you then that you need to be a writer.
Yeah.
So you know what God has already given you. Do
Mm-hmm.
not allow this teacher to tell you that you're not good enough.
Exactly. A lot of people were giving you advice, and I was just telling
Yeah,
someone this morning. When they're telling you to stop doing this or you shouldn't do that, they're coming from a place of uncertainty, probably with something in their personal life within themselves.
yeah,
So
yeah,
a lot of times when people who are of a caliber of mentorship or being a teacher teaching you,
right,
they're channeling that feeling of uncertainty, and they may just project it on other people. So that's where, even if we do have somebody in our lives that is a professional at whatever it is, like with her with the acting and everything like that, it
right.
doesn't mean that you say, okay, well, I'm just going to take that person's advice because they have a degree or they've gone through this or whatever. Like, you just may be that person who accomplished that idea. Maybe they haven't, but they may just say, because I didn't do it, you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I don't see what path you're taking, if I didn't accomplish it, then you won't either.
Right.
That's the way it is sometimes. We have a comment here from Jewel. Thank you for tuning in, sis.
Hi, Joe.
She said that is so important to keep that line of communication open with your kids. Make sure they recognize those signs of intimidation and
Yeah,
respectfully speak up. That's right. We're learning that with
exactly.
this whole social unrest. It's like respectfully speaking up and standing firm on what we truly believe in. And communication is so important. I grew up in an age where there
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a lot of communication going on in my household because it was like my mom was like, well, whatever I say goes. And it wasn't really like, well, mom, but
Mm-hmm.
so I try not to, like, especially with my kids and how they're stepping into their true identity, me not to impose my vision of their life onto them and just let them try some stuff out and think the process through. And it's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard as a mom, because they're still your
right.
babies. I don't care how big,
Absolutely.
I don't care how big they get. I don't care how wide their hips get or whatever.
Girl,
It's
I
still
told
you.
I told my baby, I said,
Yeah.
do I need to talk to the teacher?
Do
She
I
said,
need to?
no.
Yeah.
She said, no, mama, you do not.
And I,
I
and
said,
I
no,
told
I
my
will
son that all
talk.
the time. I be like, listen, do I need to?
Come
Get them in a
on.
headlock. They're like, no, ma, don't. It's okay. So, because since they're home, they do remote learning. I could listen to everything that's going on. So
Yes.
when I hear the teacher talk about something that I'm like, I don't agree with, my son be like, Mom, just go,
Just go with the flow.
just go. I'm like, no. What she say? Was she talking to you? Oh, she talked to us. Okay, just making sure. Okay. And
Exactly.
it's like, yeah, but you're so right, Jewel. Communication is important. It is definitely
Yeah.
important. Um, I've seen parents like communicate with their kids in such a way that I was like, dang, like you ain't gotta yell at them like that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But
And the
you know,
wonderful thing too about this too, when it comes to your child or children,
yes.
when they see you change, when they see you
Oh
take a
yes.
different direction in your life,
Yes.
that that's going to give them the momentum to do the same thing for themselves.
That's right. Amen. Say that
And
again.
when they see you, not sitting in your room with the curtains down, or you staying in bed all day long, and you
Mm-hmm.
just don't have the energy or the desire to go out or anything, when they see you getting up and you shower and you put on some makeup, even if you're just
Yep.
walking the dog, if you got a dog, or you whatever, they see you in a different light and you are serious about that thing, baby girl, let me tell you, your baby's gonna be like, okay, mom, this is a whole new person, you
Mm-hmm.
know and because you start to understand who you are, that you
That's
are
right.
you are something valuable, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You are something so you are so expensive, honey. I'm telling you,
Yes.
people want you
Yes.
but they can't afford you. That's
They
how
can't
bad
afford
you
you.
are.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
and they can't touch you like they want to touch you. You know what I'm saying? Because they just know, they see the greatness in you. They
Amen.
see that, wow, this girl is really bold and she's standing tall now. She's not allowing all of these negative darts and negative energy of people and family to come and intimidate her or treat her any kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
she's standing up for her rights. She's standing up for her truth. She's
For her
speaking her
passion.
truth. And she's now making some major decisions towards her life. She's saying, you know what, now I'm going to go ahead and embark on this journey. I'm going to go ahead and make these dreams come to fruition. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
make this happen for my life because now I understand the value of my worth.
Yeah. And going back to what
Yeah.
we're saying about um the love of you,
Yeah.
and one of my clients was talking about this on her live the other day. People will be jealous and resentful because you're out there accomplishing your dreams,
Yeah.
your goals. And this is what I'm talking about when, like, in instance of your daughter. Maybe, it could just be that, your daughter may have that it factor. And a lot of people feel some kind of way, like a lot of
Absolutely.
times when you have that it factor and when you're out there accomplishing your dreams, going towards your goals, not letting nothing stop you, other people around you will be uncomfortable. People who are trying to do this, not, they don't have to be doing the same thing that you're doing, but they want to do something, but they see
Yeah.
that you're accomplishing what you're accomplishing. People do get some types of animosity. They do get some
Mm-hmm.
type of jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that's just the way it is. That's what I was talking about early on, is about, instead of dumbing what you do down, still get
Right.
out there and be that light. Still get out there and be that landmark in your family. You may
Mm-hmm.
just be the first successful entrepreneur in your family. You
Mm-hmm.
may just be the first millionaire in your family. Like, you got to think of, I always think of, not of my family members who are older than me. I always think of the my grandchildren who are going to be before me. What are they going to say about Letitia Campbell? What, when they're in the room during Thanksgiving time or just having a conversation, like, when they bring up me, what they're going to say? Like, I saw a picture of my great great grandmother, and I see her face, but I don't really know her. I don't
Yeah.
know who she is, or
Yeah.
what some of the things she accomplished and what are some of her desires. But trust and believe, my great great grandkids will know me, and they will know me well. They just have to go on the internet and see all of my accomplishments and my accolades. And that's what we have to think of as well. It's like, not just live in the now, live and think about what all the people want to say before you once you're
Right.
gone. Like, that's
Right.
that's how to be, you know, what they call, I forgot the word to say, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you starting to create, history
Mhm.
for the next generation in your
Mhm.
life. You know what I
That's right.
mean? Um because you know the love of you. You know how important you are,
That's right.
because of the wealth that's inside of you. Um,
Amen.
Again, spending quality time with God is the number one thing that we as women need to learn
Amen.
to do,
Get back to it.
because He's the one that can truly give you the identity of who you really are.
Mm,
He's the one that created you, so He knows you better than you know yourself. Because what you see, you know yourself based on battered, bruised, hurt, discouraged. You feel like you don't have what it takes. You're looking at all of that, but God's not looking at that. He's looking at the purpose that He already has filled in you,
yeah, he sees you future
right?
wise. He sees you at your
Exactly.
destination. And guys, hit that like button, by the way. Go ahead, Tawanta.
Yeah, so you definitely, um you see yourself in a whole different light because of what God has been showcasing to you. He's been giving you snippets of yourself. Like
Mm,
when we go to the movies and you get your popcorn, you get your drinks and all that good stuff, and you get your perfect seat, or well, perfect seat for you. And now they got those chairs, now you can recline and get all comfortable and
yep,
everything like
yep,
that. And then when they dim the lights, then they start starting playing the music and all that stuff and everything. And then after that they start showing you
yes.
upcoming movies that's coming out in the next 6 or 8 months from now. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you all excited what you see, like, oh my God, I gotta see that. Oh, I can't wait to see
Mm-hmm.
that, or
Mm-hmm.
this, that, or whatever. And you excited for what's to come. That's how
Yep.
God is with us. He
Yep.
wants to continue to show you, what is going to come for your
What's about
life.
to happen? What's the
And
next
and
thing?
you
Yep.
definitely need to get excited about that, because God loves you more than you would ever imagine.
Ever
And
can imagine.
He wants to take your knowledge of Him in a whole different level versus
Mm-hmm.
where you are right now, or
That's
what you
right.
think
Amen.
how God loves you.
Amen. Amen. That's true. And that's so important. He already sees you at your destination. And that is the vein that he's working in. He's
Right.
not working in the vein that you're working in right now, thinking about your circumstances now, thinking about the lack of income that you're having now, thinking about all the things that you don't have. He's looking at what is about to happen and what is going to be if you tap into that vein with him. And if you're just focused on, yeah, God, I know you want me to do this, but he don't like the but. He don't like
Yeah.
you when he don't like it when you're pointing fingers or blaming other people or
Yeah.
saying, "Oh my God, I wish help me to control myself today." He's telling you to control yourself today so that you can work in the assignment that he wants you to work in, and
Yeah.
you'll say yes. And do not allow any discount or dismissal of your presence. Yeah, people will dismiss you. People will discourage you.
Absolutely.
They'll do all those things just to if you're the type of person that doesn't like for people to ignore you, you're going to have a huge problem. You have to get over that part, because
Yeah.
people, when you're trying to do things differently, when you're trying to live a different life, when you're trying to still be of the best woman you can be, or still work a business, and other people are like, girl, what are you doing? You still got just got to get out there and you just got to make it happen. And
Absolutely.
tap into what God says about you. Love you. I know this is Valentine's Day month, and we're all looking about where we're going to get our husband, where we're going to get our partner, what car we're going to get.
Yeah, because you
Get
know what?
yourself
That's
a
not even
card.
important. That's not even
Get yourself a
important.
card. You
Yeah.
know, like, I
Because
got myself this card for me today, and this is
yeah.
my love for me. Get yourself a card.
Yeah, yeah, because you wasting time like that, and
Yeah.
we all been there, girls. We all been there. Every month with
Child,
every year
listen.
Valentine's come around, I'm like, oh, she getting flowers. Oh, I wish I was the one getting the flowers. I wish I was the one getting all the attention and this, that, or whatever. Girl, no, you don't, because you see that relationship did not last no more than maybe 24 hours or maybe a week.
Get
Okay,
your own edible arrangement.
get your own.
And
You
half
know what
the
I'm
time when
saying?
people buy you stuff, especially if you've been with your partner for so long, they get you stuff you don't even don't even want. Oh, this
Yeah.
candle's cute. Knowing damn well you can't burn them candles. You got 5, 6, 7 kids at the house. They're gonna knock the candle over and start a fire. So you leave it on your dresser because it looks cute, and maybe you put some quarters in it, and maybe your earring in it or something like that. But it's like it's like I didn't really want that, but okay.
Oh,
I
yes,
now just be
honey.
like, just boy, just cash at me. That's all.
Just cash out. Yeah. Ching ching, ching ching. That's
Pay
all good.
PayPal.me, please. Thank
Yes.
you. So I can get
You
myself
know?
something.
But for the love of you, ladies. And let me tell you where I got this idea from
Yes,
before.
talk about it. Yeah, it was a really good
I
idea.
just heard my song from the Isley Brothers. That
Mm.
song came to my spirit, and I just heard the song, for the love, especially Whitney Houston when she did the song,
Yes, Whitney.
and that's still one of my favorite songs to this day. And I
Yes.
actually went on YouTube just to see the lyrics of the song. And yeah, of course, he's singing about that special love in his life, and Whitney singing that special love in her life, or whatever. But you need to make that personal, in
Yes.
terms of how God sees you too, and how you
Mm.
see
Amen.
yourself for the love
Amen.
for you. Because you got family that loves you, right? Yeah, and that's good and all, but they don't love you the way you need to be
Need to
loved.
love you. That's right.
You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying? And like I said, the families, they gonna come and they will go.
That's right.
How you gonna maintain yourself when they gone? Because
That's
people
right.
cling to the love of other people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And when that person do die or pass on or move away, they feel like they can't live anymore. They feel like they
Mm-hmm.
cannot, survive. But yes, you can survive, whether they pass away, God forbid, or whether they pack their bags and leave, or something comes in their life or whatever. You can still stand, and stand strong and say, but I still love me. I can do
Mm-hmm.
it. I can
Mm-hmm.
make it. With God's help, definitely I can make this, because I'm a powerful woman. I'm a loving woman, because
That's
I
right.
love myself consistently. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to continue to abuse myself anymore.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. That's very true. And it's very important, because we do go through this. You will, let me just say this year, we'll go through moments where you just like not sure of what path you're supposed to take, what decisions you're supposed to be making. And it's constant daily questioning of, should I go this way? Should I go that way?
Yeah.
But also think about tap into, it's very important that you have a vision, whether you have it on a vision board or whether it's written down somewhere, of what you want to accomplish this year. What do you want to accomplish this quarter? Not even, I don't think about my goals as if like this is what I want to complete by December.
Right.
I think of my goals as what I want to complete by the end of March, and really making it more like microness. So let's say if you want to do have a big impact in December, like by December, this is what you want to accomplish. Like break it
Yeah.
down into
Yeah.
quarters and say, okay, well, this quarter, this is going to be our focus. The second quarter, this is going to be my focus, and what have you. So, are you ready to tap into the giveaway time? Because we gave you guys some awesome teas tonight,
Yeah.
and I hope you guys walk away knowing that loving you is the strategy and the essential for 2021. All right.
Absolutely.
So, Tawanta, you ready for this giveaway?
I am ready.
All right. So the rules are this. If you want to participate in our giveaway, all you have to do is type in hashtag sister to sister. I'm gonna add you in our giveaway. We're about to launch our brand new merchandise. So once it is launched, we will ship you a freemium for you straight to your home. So to participate in the giveaway, type in hashtag sister to sister. I see Joelle typed it in, and also Treese. So wait a couple of seconds to see who else is going to tap in, and make sure y'all hit that like button. Listen, y'all, we
Yes,
want to make
honey.
sure that YouTube gets this show out to the universe, because Tawata and I are talking about some amazing information. We have some awesome stuff coming up for you guys very, very soon. We'll talk about that on the next show.
Right.
If you want to be on the panel, let's say you feel like you want to contribute to the conversation, feel free to email us at sister to sister connection at gmail.com, so that way you can be a guest on our next panel. And again, guys, this is you coming on and you sharing your perspective on whatever topic that we're talking about. We will prepare you. We'll tell you in advance what our discussions are. Literally after every show, Tawanta's inbox me and say, hey, this is what we're talking about on the next episode of the Sister to Sister Connection talk show. All right. So let me just share my screen here. I did share it to test it out a second ago, so it is working. So let's do. All right. Let me take off
All right,
this.
ladies.
All right. We're going to spin this wheel, honey. Hold
Come
on.
on with
Let me
it.
get rid of that red space there. Hold on one second. We're going to spin this wheel like Wheel of Fortune, honey.
Come through, come
That's,
through.
yes. Okay. Entries. Why did I say 3 entries? Okay. Let me change that to 2. It should only say two entries, but let me just change that. Change the taste, and then let's go back. Okay, so let's spin the wheel. Let's
Let's
see.
go. Woo! Don't you? Don't you? It's your birthday. Go, girl. Hey.
Winner, chicken dinner. I love this.
Go,
I love it's
mama.
like my favorite part of the show. So did you win last week? I think Therese won last week. Did she win
Yeah,
last? Therese,
Therese
Jewel,
won
did you win
last
last
week.
week? Well, since we haven't. Okay, so Therese won last week. Jewel won this week. Great, 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 great. All right, Jewel. So when we launch our merch, we will notify you and let you know. Same thing for you, Therese, as well. When we do launch our merch, we'll let you guys know. And so we will have the topic. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, please. It's so important that you guys are making sure that you are subscribing. And the thing is about subscribing, you know how YouTube works. You got to subscribe and then you got to hit that bell button and click on that so that you can see all of our uploads. Okay, that's very, very much so important. We'll be back on next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we so appreciate you guys for being here. Is there anything you would like to add, Tawanta, before we leave? So before we let
Continue
everybody go
loving
on the
you. Continue loving you. And do this for me. Go ahead and play the Isley Brothers, or if not Whitney Houston, and let the song just saturate in your spirit, honey.
all right.
Okay, and you can just dance to yourself. Come on with it. Come on. Okay, and just enjoy yourself. Enjoy life.
Enjoy, love yourself, all
Yes.
the above. That's so, so, so important. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. And as always, love on your sister. Bye, guys.
Bye.